Hi, welcome to Hyperion Hype Club. My name is McKenna and I love the Kingdom Keepers books by Ridley Pearson. Join me as we discuss this series and others published by Disney-Hyperion Books. Let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome to the first official episode of Season 4 of Hyperion Hype Club, where we are going over chapters 1 through 7 of Peter and the Starcatchers. If you did not read or watch the trailer or listen to it, this is a book that's been on my TBR for over a decade, well over a decade. And I figured I would try to do a deep dive with a book I haven't read yet, unlike the Kingdom Keepers books, which I read when I was younger. So I guess this is me giving it a go. And if you haven't watched the trailer, it went over like the kind of layout I'm going for these episodes and stuff like that. Just a reading update from me to start. I finished Crown of Midnight, the second book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas this morning. It was very good. And I will probably start Reflection tonight or tomorrow morning for you guys to do my first review on a Twisted Tale book, and it'll be my first time reading one of those Twisted Tales books. And if you want to know what I read during my hiatus between seasons 3 and 4, you can go over to my Goodreads. I had like a strong few months of reading, and then I started binge watching Dance Moms, so it kind of dropped off a little, but I'm done binge watching Dance Moms now, and I'm back to reading more, so we'll see how long this one lasts for. But yeah, let's get into chapters 1 through 7. Here is this week's Captain's Log, aka like a summary of what happened in this book, or just some key moments. Peter and 4 other boys from St. Norbert's School for Wayward Boys are being put on the Neverland ship for 5 weeks. Peter likes to assert himself as the oldest / most dominant of any group he is in. Several crew members of the ship have to carry a large covered chest to the ship. When crew member or sailor Alf touches it, he feels light and warm and his pain goes away. He also hears musical bells. And he floats a little. Peter meets Molly and her governess after she stops him from escaping the ship. We learn that he and James don't know their surnames and that Molly's father is an ambassador being sent to Rundoon, where King Zarboff III, who sounds like an absolute slime ball, reigns. Peter also agrees to be the same age as Molly, which is something new for him. He always has to be the oldest, remember. The St. Norbert's boys are orphans and are being sent to Rundoon to be servants to King Z3. So I'm not saying the full name the whole time. Blackstash, who's the most feared man on the sea, is aiming to take down the Wasp ship, thinking it holds the magical chest that's actually on the Neverland. The boys refuse to eat the live maggots and mouse they are given, so Peter makes it his mission to get them some edible food. Captain Pembridge knows squat about sailing and is always drunk. Slank is the one who really runs the ship. 3 days in, while on the hunt for food at night, Peter's almost caught when he sees a flying rat. There was definitely something with green eyes flying out of the room with the chest. Then Molly appears and we don't see the flying green eyes anymore. A connection that Peter makes is that Molly has green eyes as well. Also, how did Molly know that they needed food? She already had the bread in the bag for them. A little bit of a random thought at the end there, but still. Now on to some references. So again, if you weren't at the trailer, this book is a prequel to Peter and Wendy, written by J.M. Barrie. The play was written in 1904, which is 100 years before this book came out, and the story adaptation, like the book, I guess, adaptation, was done by Sir J.M. Barrie as well in 1911. And then Disney's Peter Pan book was also based on Peter and Wendy by Sir J.M. Barrie. These are the kind of references I'll be talking about. James is the first name of Captain Hook, so I'm guessing James is gonna become Captain Hook, or at least, well, I mean, he probably won't have a hook yet, or maybe we'll see how he gets his hook. Anyway, a very obvious reference is that the ship Peter and the boys are sailing on is called the Neverland. Alf was dancing to musical bells while touching the chest and even floated a little. When fairies talk, they sound like bells, and obviously their dust can make you fly. Peter moves on from stuff very quickly, which is much more obvious in the book, and I'm guessing the play, than in the movie. And this is the Peter and Wendy book. He's described in this book as having the look of a boy who doesn't miss much. So I kind of see that connection there. Another obvious reference is Smee. Glad to be assured that he will be safe if Black Stash decides to throw him overboard. Speaking of Black Stash, Hook was Blackbeard's bosun, aka kind of like deck boss, very high ranking on the ship, and was the only one whom Blackbeard ever feared. I guess Black Stash will eventually go by Blackbeard. Anyway, moving on to random thoughts. I love the acknowledgement to Paige Pearson at the beginning, and above all, we thank Paige Pearson for asking her daddy one night after her bedtime story exactly how a flying boy met a certain pirate. Then it'll be interesting to see James's confidence grow, since right now he's a scaredy cat. Also, in Peter and Wendy, it is written that Hook attended a famous public school. His last words in the play are a motto of Eton College, an upper-class institution. I wonder how he's going to end up there. Next, Ted is helping ruin the reputation of sharks. I also wonder if this is foreshadowing something. I don't know. So he's like, sharks, they eat people, they're man-eaters, gotta be scared of them. And I'm like, well. There are so many things much more dangerous than sharks. And you can see all these videos online of like sharks just like chilling. I mean, obviously you want to use caution, but like they don't deserve that reputation. Moving on, Molly obviously looks very much like Wendy, just with a different eye color, because Wendy had blue eyes. Her eye color wasn't mentioned in Peter and Wendy, I believe, but in Peter Pan, she's a blue-eyed girl. I wonder if Peter was drawn to Wendy for her similar appearance to Molly. With the hunger the boys are experiencing, I wonder if Peter will start doing the make-believe meals he does in the book, and I'm guessing the play as well. But yeah, that's just my random thoughts on it so far. I think it's off to a bit of a slow start, as a lot of books are though, or a series especially. But I am enjoying the references and excited to see how the characters develop, and the gap between this beginning and the book are at least somewhat bridged. So yeah, I guess that's it. It'll be a short episode. I'm sure most of these will be shorter episodes because I'm not going into anything about the theme parks and stuff like that, like I did with the Kingdom Keepers series. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see how this season goes. But please join me next week for chapters 8 through 15. See you real soon. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, and follow. Also, please chat with me and other members of this club in the comments of the YouTube video. My other social media information and a link to the Long Distance Sisters podcast I am also part of will be below. Back in a whack.